All right, welcome back to my channel, Both Things Creative. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on creating a one-of-a-kind stamp with a hot glue gun that you can use on the gel plate. Let's get started. Materials. You'll need a cardboard surface, kind of a hard surface to glue onto, which I'll show you in just a minute. I have an old shoebox lid here that I'm going to cut up and use in the demo, but when you're done with the paper pads like this, the back is great to save for creating stamps just like this and other cool ways of using stamps. So when you're done with paper pads, I would recommend keeping these around. They're very useful and sturdy. So I'm going to use this shoebox lid. We got my 4-year-old some new Minnie Mouse shoes she's in love with. And I get to use the lid, so lucky me. I'm just going to cut out a little piece of cardboard just like that. And then I have my glue gun turned on. This is just a simple little Gorilla Glue gun. And you can do any kind of design, anything that you can imagine, you can create. I'm gonna do some simple circles. Okay. We'll start there. I'm gonna let this dry and we'll be back in a few minutes. Dry to the touch. So let's get over to the gel plate. Go. Use these colors. Cadmium, red deep hue, turquoise blue. Let's see how these play together. Okay, we don't want to wait too long or it'll dry and we won't be able to pull any paint off the plate. So we have our awesome little hot glue stamp here. Let's see what it'll do. I'm applying a good amount of pressure here to make sure the paint adheres to the stamp and comes on up. Neat. And actually, that's an effect I didn't even plan for, that the red, of course, would get onto my stamp, and as I move down into the blue, I'm leaving some red there, which is a very cool secondary effect. Neat. I love it. That's pretty neat in and of itself. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry, maybe even use my blow dryer on it. Heat gun is an option too. I just don't own one. And then I'll decide what the next layer of paint I'll put down to pull this print will be. Okay, we're all dry. I'm ready to pull my print and I have a decision to make. I can lay down another color of paint to pull this off of my plate, or I can use this clear matte medium, which is an acrylic body, which doesn't have any pigment or color in it, so that these colors will be maintained and not affected. I think what I'm gonna do, go for one more color. I'll choose a color that I think will go nicely with the colors I already have here. Let's pull it with this magenta. I'll need more paint. You want a good, even coat for the last layer of paint that you apply before you pull the print, so that it makes contact with all the previous layers of paint on the plate and can dry and stick together and pull up nice and clean. Okay. I'm gonna pull this on regular printer paper. I'll lay my paper down, definitely before that paint begins to dry. As soon as you get the nice even coat of paint, put your paper down so that it has every chance of adhering to the wet paint completely. Even pressure across the entire surface. And now I'm gonna let this dry, probably 8 or 9 minutes, and we'll be back. This is the hardest part. Waiting for this. Waiting for the prints to dry is so hard sometimes, especially when you're really excited about what it's going to look like, which I guess is every time, right? Okay, let's pull it, see what we got. Let's see. All right, I love that. So you'll notice where I placed the stamp and put a little bit more pressure on one side or the other, more paint was lifted. So that opened up these areas on the plate where my last layer of paint, the magenta, could show through, which adds just more interest. There you go. Hot glue gun stamp on the gel plate.